Hello everyone, it is Stephen and Andrea from Pin in the Atlas, and today we are back up in the mountains of Nevada.
We're at another mining campsite. This camp was established in 1906, but the first production wasn't until 1911. And this was primarily gold and silver. There's plenty of buildings for us to explore. And this was never a ghost town. It never had a post office and it didn't have a newspaper, so it was only ever a mining camp. Let's take a look.
And you've probably seen it in our intro, we are out with some friends, Terry and Bill. That's their side by side. You can see Tonto up there. Hey Tonto. Now this is like an ore bin. You can see the chutes down here that the ore would come out. And we've got, looks like a massive water bin, another bin over there. And in this first building, see some of the gearing up there. This
looks like it's kind of like a saw.
That was a giant saw.
And it kind of looks like it rotates, so it goes back. Would it go backwards and forwards because it's got wheels?
So up on the wheels there probably would have been imagine belts up on there.
So belts would go round here and then further back maybe?
Yeah, there's more machinery. As you can see up there on the top, there's some bolts. So there was another piece of the equipment up there, probably the little motor that ran it, because it would take a lot of juice to turn a saw blade that large. And here you got the tracks that they would put their lumber in to make their notches, cut it in half down to size, what so have you. And then, yep, here we go. There's a remnants of one of the rollers. Does it still? It still rotates. And then we'll move along to the next building here. Is that the, what I think it is?
Well, no explore would be complete without a trip to the dunny.
This soon?
It's in pretty good condition too.
Nice and neat still, sturdy.
I'm not sure when this camp closed down. I couldn't find out any information about it. It was definitely maybe after the war or during wartime.
And here's got a little cupboard back there. Door's missing. Oh, the smell in here. The smell of the wood and some oil. So this was definitely a shop. So the tables are missing off there. And then here's a closer look. This is the oil still saturated into the wood. That's what you can smell. What we can smell, excuse me.
And the bird poop.
And that. It looks like a little piece of an insulator down here. And then this was obviously the shop door. That's now come off. Is that a cane?
It looks like it, doesn't it? It kind of looks like a giant key as well.
So they must have had a huge tin of pilchards there.
That's what I was thinking.
Here's the little man door for that same building we just came out of. Now they've painted it. It looks like fairly made it stand out. I mean, I'm colorblind and I can see that.
Yeah.
It's white, isn't it?
Cream.
Oh, so close. And you can get a better view from these windows. There was more to this building that's collapsed now.
Is there anything over in that corner? Let me just take a quick look.
Okay.
No.
So here, you can see the collapse. So it did have 2 stories. Or perhaps that was just one of those areas they just had the windows in to let some more light in from up top. Looking at it now, it seems too small to be a second floor, so that was just to let light in. And this one seems like it was in really bad shape compared to some of these others. Don't know why that seems to be so much more weathered. I guess because we don't see the walls now, so I don't know if they were clad in the corrugated metal. Small, simple room. Little piece of an insulator from the knob and tube. Oh. Made by Wheeling Corrugating Company. Wheeling, West Virginia, USA.
Workbench.
Workbench had some drawers. Those are missing now.
And I'm not sure, some sort of fabric on the floor.
Oh, canvas. That's thick canvas.
Really thick canvas. They had a stove in here. There's a hole, which has been boarded up.
Right then, there would have been more shelves and a bench back there.
And then, yeah, let's go next door.
Somebody shot their way in here. They've got some, hang some stuff off of in here. You can see this metal, its holes are rusting away through it. That's not shot through. These ones are. You can see the edges are rusting away pretty severely in some spots. And then what's this?
Doesn't go down very far. People have been burning stuff in it, but I don't know what it is.
This still rotates.
It's got some writing on the side. Model 8. Oops, nearly fell over. The Denver rock drill. Whatever a rock drill is.
Yeah, I don't know if that's turning out too. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better.
Somebody will know what a rock drill is.
I got this. It's very neat. And that's a pretty cool look with all the light bleeding through. Looks like stars. It's just unfortunate that those are bullet holes. And they got some piping up in the rafters still. Looks like water piping. And we got some more buildings over there. First,
now this, I believe, I read that there is a 1,500-foot shaft.
the vertical
The
shaft.
vertical shaft. And it's, what I read, it said it is covered in wood, so I'm wondering whether or not this is
This is the one.
Yeah.
1,500 feet straight down, huh?
Could you imagine?
Shall we try the rock test?
We can. Do you trust my shot?
Yep.
Still going. Still going. I can't hear it
I
anymore.
can't hear it anymore.
Too deep.
So don't know if it stopped or if that's still plummeting. Okay, the vertical shaft is directly behind us, and this is that building. Looks like they were...
The old tongue and groove.
Oh, yeah. Now this looks like there's some machinery. There was machinery in here. You can see where it was bolted down. And this looks like it's like our friend Bill said, this looks like a waste rock pile. So we don't know if this was somewhere they were doing their final washouts, or if what was actually going on in here. Because he did point out some really neat things. That was a very sturdy bench. So this here was an electrical box.
So that would be where
Connection was made.
And the handle would be at the bottom.
And then you can see where the electrical pipes ran in through the back and to the side. A piece of which then came over here somewhere.
So you can see the electric cables inside the pipe.
So there's definitely more pieces here that are gone. But then these interesting things here, we're not sure. Like I said, our best guess and Bill's best guess as well as
heating elements.
It looks like some type of heating elements. Like these would get hot because you got on each side. There's a clamp. The side. Oh, here we go. This one's better. You can put your cable in through one side. And then the other side, create your current, create the heat. So like we said, that's our best guess. We may be wrong with that one. Because like he said, I wasn't sure what they would be using the heat for in here. Another process that he's not familiar with. And then more of the building. Look at the striation in the rock. That's really cool. And then the rest of the building collapsed here.
And Bill found this really heavy
Piece of lead,
which has been melted down. Interesting.
Climbed up just a little bit to take a closer look at this house. And the one intriguing feature is the fireplace, which, as you can see, is a pretty stout fireplace. But is it? Because one intriguing thing is how close it is to the window, the wall, and it's open both sides. So don't know, maybe this was part of the assay office and they would melt some of the ore.
So you said about the assays office. I've just found one of the little, well, half of the container that they would test the ore in.
Oh yeah.
So you could be right, this would be probably the assays office.
That's a cool find.
Huh.
We'll walk around the outside a little bit here. Peer in these windows. It's got several rooms.
Old tin can. Lots of nails on the floor.
Are you doing
Shall I go in? Am I checking for spiders? Is this what this is? Spiders and snakes.
I just figured you're already in, so.
So let's take a look. Before we go in there, the other side of this fireplace or furnace, or whatever you want to call it, somebody's put a couple more bits of broken pots, which they would test the ore samples. And then in here, just checking the floorboards, because as you can see, there's a few big holes in the floor. Just up here, an old fireplace or heating stovepipe vent. A little shelf in the corner. And this underneath me actually goes straight through to a cellar, so I just need to be a bit careful. Another little room, not sure what that would be. And then the last room here, again, nothing else in here, just two large windows. You might be able to hear Bill in the background talking to his wife. And you can see the roof is totally destroyed. You can see electrical cables up there. And there's Stephen. And I want you all to wish Stephen a very happy birthday, because the day that we're filming this is Stephen's birthday. Happy birthday, Stevie.
Thank you. All right, we've walked down around the house to the entrance, the cellar.
Again, it looks like storage, really.
Yeah. So if they kept samples and other things, some valuables in here.
Look how they've actually built it into the rock.
Yeah.
Just need to watch for snakes.
Bottom of the fireplace thing there. And it continues off down that way. The whole footprint of the building above us.
And they've been testing.
Now what that looks like to me, I know they're called different things. We used to call them butterfly bits. Where, you know, you'd have your pin and you can do the different radiuses.
So that would just be for testing it, wouldn't it, on here?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody's done that after the fact or what. And here there used to be shelving. It went across over that way. They're missing now. All right, let's see what else we can find. At the top of the complex now, at the smelter area, we were told it's a wedge style roaster. Same as like the smelting process. You can see here all the charring on the bricks. So I don't know if these were repurposed somewhere else. Some more's falling down. And then like Bill and I were talking, this looks like this could have been possibly a conveyor system that took the ore that way. And then on top, looks like plumbing for steam. You can see it just right there, a little zigzag. It's piping, so it looks like that could be for steam. So I'll try to walk around, get a little better view of some of this, because this is quite the impressive piece of machinery. It obviously dominates the whole landscape as soon as you come around the corner. This is the first thing you set eyes on. And then the mill burnt down around it in 1936. I believe. We'll double check with Andrea when she gets back, but you can see that post is all burned, and that's what adds the patina to some of this metal. Here is a glimpse inside. And this whole device, the inside, the very center there, that cylinder, that rotated. And you can kind of see some of the arms there, and there were different levels. See just above, that's the brickwork. And then continuing up, you can see all the different layers. And then just down underneath, this gear. Oh, that is incredible. It's just so, finding this stuff a lot of the time just leaves me speechless, because it's the work that went into building this is unbelievable. And the weight of it and getting it up here to this area. You can see how from the weight, I guess from the heat when the mill burned down, it's caused some of this metal to twist. You can see these large chains, everything on the ground. Just, like I said, I'm going to be at a loss for words, so I might just walk around and look at the gears over here as well. It's
huge,
a marvel,
isn't it?
a marvel of engineering.
Now, did you say the year? 1936?
1936,
Yeah.
I was correct in that one?
Yep, 1936 the mill burnt down. And this furnace is a wedge furnace. But I bet you've already said that.
I mentioned
haven't
that, and that's why like Bill gave us a hard time. He goes, "That's a smelter." We were
Apparently
told it's a wedge
furnace.
furnace. He's like, "Yeah, that's what a smelter does." We just like it when we learn new technology and new terms so we can use them. But this, yeah, on this side, you can get a better idea with those gears how this would rotate and turn around.
And the bricks would also turn around with it. So this has got like an extra insulation, I would guess, with the bricks.
Right, and that's why from the side I was able to kind of peek up, or you can get a little from here, but the different levels, and they just continue up and up and up.
And from the outside, it kind of looks like a giant pizza oven.
Mm-hmm. Quickly, before we start heading off to more sections though, this was also something Bill and I were having a conversation about. We believe, because that's a main quartz vein right there. So we're not sure. It looks like it seems plausible to us that the main shaft could have been in this area. It's all collapsed down or closed up now. And these could have been, you know, they could have had a hoist on here. This could have been the little hoist house. Because if you look along, you know, this could have been the rest of the little system to drop the ore off down into the smelter area over there, which does make sense. We could be completely wrong about that. We thought it sounded good. Then you get another view of the massive amount of tailings.
Now, the mine that we were at was just down there, just hidden by those trees. We've driven further up the hill and we've come across this house. Let's take a look. I mean, before we go into the house, take a look at the valley, the beautiful, beautiful view. That's amazing. And then the house itself is in pretty poor condition. See, most of the wood structure has fallen down through the weather and nature. It's So we'll start to the right and we'll pan round. So I wonder whether or not this was cold storage for the house, like a pantry. You see all of the rocks have caved in. And the floor's a little bit unstable. There's a lot of holes in the floor. I don't know how far the drop is, so I'm not going to venture too far. But this was an amazing house. And take a look at that fireplace. That is beautiful. It's going to zoom in. I'm not going to walk over there. Just zoom in on that. It's pretty neat. And the house was wired for electric. There is electrical cables. I'm standing on, I guess, what would be the front porch. You can see all those nails down there. And you sit out here of an evening, glass of wine, and look out at the valley. So I was just up there standing on the porch, just walking around the outside of the house. You can see how it was built on the rocks. Oops, it's a bit slippery. And you can see it's all bowing, all the floorboards are bowing. And that's the fireplace. So we'll walk around the outside and check that out. So this is the fireplace from the outside. It's in really good condition. And you've got a little air vent. I guess that was for to help with the draft or the lift of the fire. I don't know what you call it. And then on this side, again, it looks like there might have been another porch. Let's take a look around there. So the wind's picked up, so hopefully that's not going to do too much for the volume. So this is the other side of the house. So this possibly looks like another little porch. There's no skirting boards or baseboards. Unfortunately, most of it's come down. And then you've also got a huge window to let in the light. So that would have been pretty neat. Would love to have seen this when it was all intact. So I've just stepped into the house, just trying to figure out where the kitchen might have been. And we've noticed the floorboards. So these are tongue and groove. Let me get the shadow out of the way. So these are tongue and groove, and they've been put over much thicker wood. So we think that this possibly could be the bedroom, which would kind of make sense because it's got a beautiful big window, and there's even some, oops, sorry about that, even some paper, the insulation paper. And then further along over here, we believe, is possibly where the kitchen could have been. This could have been where the kitchen sink was. You've still got a nice window, and to the left there's an old plug socket just there, and there's also pipes. So possibly, just see the pipe just there, possibly drainage for a kitchen sink maybe. And that's Bill just walking off. And you've got the wires for the electricity here. And then on the floor also, there's a couple more holes with pipes in, and also this kind of like a footprint. You can see it goes up and around in a kind of a square, so not quite sure what that's all about. That was where I was standing first of all, with what we think could possibly be in a cold storage. And then just take another look at that beautiful fireplace. Unfortunately, all the floor is caved in, so I don't really want to go over there. Give you another little tour. And that's it for the house. Well, I hope you enjoyed our explore of the Whitecaps mine. Now, unfortunately, Stephen was sick during that video, hence we didn't do a close then, and we're doing it now, a couple of days later. Poor Stevie, on his birthday, was puking on his new boots.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were with friends, Bill and Terry, thank you so much. And what you didn't see also was the fact that we ended up having a huge puncture, ran over a bolt which destroyed our tyre. So now we have to also purchase some new tyres.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that we don't always get to see on camera, we don't always show on camera, which we've been talking about, and I think we're going to start doing something about that. So we're going to start a project called the Journey Series.
Behind the scenes, what really goes on in camp life, truck life, life on the road, whatever you want to call it, the things that we don't really discuss and we don't really show. So we hope you're going to enjoy that series too.
Yes. And also, just a quick note, we do have some new patrons. We would like to thank them very much, and that's where it becomes a little bit difficult when we're on the road, because we can't, we have our videos scheduled already, so sometimes it becomes a little bit difficult to go back in and add thank yous and things. So just know, be patient please. Your thank yous will be coming out. Also, those that have put some money into the PayPal to help fuel Tonto, we appreciate that so much. That's what's continuing to help this channel grow and getting us to these places. So we appreciate all of that so very much.
Yes, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And on that note, get out there, go and explore, put another pin in the atlas, and we will see you on our next adventure. Bye.
Bye.